Hey guys, welcome back if you have already been here before, and hello to anybody new joining me today. So I'm going to do a bit of a different kind of video for you guys today, because normally I'll either be talking to you about sort of like my tattoos or doing something that's more related to things like that, whereas I don't really feel like I've done many videos on my viewpoints or things just that I think or any of the opinions that I have. So I thought today was a good opportunity and a good time to share with you guys my viewpoints on gay pride. Now, I am a lesbian woman. I live in the UK, so I'm very, very fortunate and lucky in where I'm living, because obviously there's no laws in place that discriminate against anybody who is in the LGBTQ plus, God, I almost couldn't get that out then, in the LGBTQ plus category. So I'm really, really fortunate in my sort of circumstance in where I'm living and things like that. Obviously, anywhere that you live, you're going to get some sort of prejudice and some sort of discrimination against you. I'm just lucky enough to live somewhere where that isn't actually legal. So I'm fortunate enough that I can actually marry my partner. And I can't even imagine how heartbreaking that must be to live somewhere knowing that you can't actually just marry the person that you love and be treated as just another human being, really. Like the fact that, you know, your sexual preferences can dictate, you know, what you're allowed to do, I think is just absolutely disgusting. So I just want to start off this video by saying that I am really, really fortunate that I'm not from a place where that is actually legal to discriminate. Now, obviously, as you can tell from the title of this video, and if you follow me on Instagram, the link's in the description below, then you'll know that I actually personally don't believe in gay pride in terms of the gay pride sort of like time that we have in the UK, where we have like a big party and everything like that. So in this video, I'm just going to kind of explain to you why, as somebody within the community, doesn't actually agree with it. So one of the first things that I kind of want to get across is the fact that I do 100% believe in the traditional LGBTQ marches that are going on in places where it is still illegal to marry, or there are some sort of laws in place that discriminate against us. I think that having a gay pride and having a march there is really, really, really important. I mean, it's tried and tested throughout history. Like, look at the women's right to vote. Like, marches work and they get your point across in a calm, informative manner that show that you're taking something seriously and you're just standing up for something that you believe in and should be, and hopefully in time will be more widely accepted. So I just want to start with saying that that to me is really, really important. And I think in those places, one, it's really brave to actually do that, because I can't even imagine how scary that must be, because you're always going to have a lot of people that also surround it that are actually quite hateful towards us. So I think that marches in those sort of places are 100% really, really important. However, when you come to the UK and you go to a gay pride, it's nothing like that. It's almost just a huge excuse for a party. And I understand that to some people they'll be like, yeah, but it's a huge celebration, blah, blah, blah. Like, you know, it's where people all come together and we, you know, have like a huge party because we're celebrating, blah, blah, blah. But I don't agree with that. Like, go to if you haven't been to a gay pride, then go to one. And I think at least some of you are gonna kind of share the same sort of beliefs that I do. I don't think that going to these sort of events show any of the hardship that gay people went through before, obviously, like, you know, it was legal to marry and there weren't things in place against us. Like, I don't think you're taught anything at these places, and I don't think it's almost not really taken seriously. Like, I think something like that should be more historical and more of a teaching sort of exercise, and sort of show people, you know, this is what we've had to face and now we've overcome that. So we're celebrating that, but it should be in a more informative manner. I mean, I went to a gay pride only one time and I will never go again. And I was almost mortified at what I saw. It was literally just a bunch of people all over each other, which isn't very PC, and I don't want to watch heterosexual people or gay people or any kind of people all over each other in a public place. Like, that's meant to be a child-friendly event, and a lot of the things that I saw there were not at all child friendly. And I just think we should be setting some sort of example and show that actually we are completely normal and we're just the same as everybody else. And I think an event like that almost puts us even more into a minority category. Like, you shouldn't see things like that walking down any street or in any sort of public place, and at Gay Pride it's like all of that goes out the window, and some of it is actually quite disgusting. I would not take a minor to a Gay Pride, and I think that in itself is really sad. Like, it's almost vulgar, and I was actually ashamed to be a part of that community. Like, I left with this horrible feeling in the pit of my stomach, thinking people that have never met a gay person before, or people that, you know, have just not had people like us in their lives before, are going to see something like that and think that is what represents gay people. Now, there shouldn't be anything that has to represent gay people, because there's nothing that represents straight people. Like, we are just people, we are all part of the same community. There shouldn't just be things that single everybody out, because as soon as we're put in a minority box, we become a minority, and that's when people become, like, have a problem with us. But if that's the first thing that they see and they think, oh, I'd find that off-putting. Like, I'm not judgmental in any way, shape or form, but I left feeling homophobic and I'm gay, so I think that speaks volumes. I mean, when I was walking around, it was almost like just one huge dick showing competition of who can be the most flamboyant and who can be the most over the top and who can be the most center of attention, all for the whole thing. And it's so embarrassing. At Gay Pride, you're meant to be setting an example and showing people who we are and what we've been through and where we are now. And I just think a bunch of people getting pissed, squealing, like basically dry humping each other on a field, that's so embarrassing. Like, that's not a positive influence or a positive representation of the community at all. And I just don't understand why people think that's a good thing, because it's not. The other thing that really bothers me is that no matter what minority group you are in, people will put you in a box and they will judge you for it, because unfortunately that is the way that the world works. Most people tend to be kind of shitty on some level. They will have made a comment to somebody somewhere that was either racist, sexist, homophobic. You know, people make fun of each other for the colour of their hair or for, you know, the tone on their skin, like the most ridiculous things that you just think, that does not matter at all. It does not affect the kind of person you are, but people will judge you. So the more you're going to put yourself in a box, the more people are going to hate you in that box. Like, rather than being like, I'm Holly, I'm gay, as the first things you say, who cares? Like, why does it matter? Unless I'm trying to get with you, my sexual orientation should not matter at all. Like, I can't think of anything worse than someone introducing themselves to me and then telling me, you know, their sexual orientation. I just think, okay, cool, I'm Holly and I have size 6 feet. I live in a 2-bed house. Like, it just, I don't know, some people being gay is their personality, and I just think if you've got that little substance to you, that says a lot as well. I just think the more you make a big song and dance about something, and the more you try and shove it down people's throats, like now when it's Gay Pride, like every single shop will have something with a rainbow on it, and everything is about being gay and bisexual and everything in that category. Like, everything is made to be about this, and you're shoving it down people's throats. Like, stop. Like, rather than having something that is so commercialized and made such a huge cringeworthy thing, like, why don't we just actually go, do you know what, let's have a march. Someone can, you know what, if you wanna hold a bloody rainbow flag, fair enough. I wouldn't be seen dead doing that, but if that's what you want to do, fair enough. But it should be something that's taught, and just there should be education on it. It shouldn't just be this whole huge piss up, basically. Like, that's not educational. That doesn't teach anybody anything. And having shops make it commercialized, like, that's just absolutely beyond me. People trying to make money off the fact that some people are gay, like, what the fuck? But the more you put yourself in a box and the more you try and make yourself, right, I am part of this, so I'm part of this tiny little community and we are this one little unit, and then there's everybody else. What you're doing is you're making everybody else look at you like you're an outsider. Whereas, why aren't we all part of the same category? Like, I don't see myself any differently to what I see a straight person, or what I see like somebody of a different ethnicity, or somebody who's tall, or, you know, any of those other things that make us all different. Like, they make us different, but we're still all the same. So why does it have to be such a big thing? Like, the idea was originally to fight for equality, and in the UK especially, we've achieved that. There's always going to be some people that judge us and some people that discriminate, because that is just people. You'll get that with absolutely everything. But it's not illegal here now. So I don't feel like it's as necessary. It should be taught and it's part of our history. But I think it's just gone so far now. It's just too over the top. Like, if you want to be considered the same as everybody else, which we all should, why let your sexual orientation define you? It comes back to the introduction thing again. Like, if you need to introduce yourself and throw confetti rainbow and be like, I'm Holly and I'm gay, I would literally ignore your existence, turn around and walk the other way, because I'd be like, you are not the sort of person that I'm going to get on with. Like, if I met an Asian lady and she was like, I'm blah blah and I'm Asian, I'd be like, cool. Nobody gives a shit. Like, stop putting yourself in a box. Like, you're just a person. Everybody is just a person. Let their actions define them. If you're kind, if you're loving, or even if you're vile, or, you know, your actions define you as a person. Everything else doesn't. The things that you just are, they don't matter. Like, it's the things that you try to be and you work on as a person. Those are the things that matter, and those are the sorts of things that you should be judged on, your actions, not things that are completely, in all honesty, quite irrelevant to the outside world. I think if we normalise gay people and stop having things like, this is for the gays, so it's got a rainbow on it, then I think we're actually starting to win the battle in normalising and inequality, because at the moment, I feel like all that's happening is that we're almost separating ourselves off even more. So, I mean, a lot of people are going to completely disagree with me in this video, and they're going to say that having a community and a safe place like Gay Pride is something that they don't get in their everyday life. Like, their school, they might not have that at home, and they might not have that in their friend group. And with that, I genuinely can really sympathise. And in that sense, that's why I think it's really important that it should be taught, and there should be some sort of march or some sort of celebration in place. I can understand that, and I do genuinely get it. Not everybody's had it easy. Like, even I've had some prejudice and some discrimination towards me. But again, I don't let that define me. I still stand by that. By normalising something, it then shouldn't matter, because then there won't be any prejudice, because people will be like, okay, cool, you're gay, so what? Or like, okay, cool, like, that's your shoe size, or okay, cool, you like wearing women's clothing and you like wearing like men's clothing. Like, nobody will give a shit, because it won't be relevant. Like, if we stop separating ourselves off, then it will become so much more normal, like whatever normal actually is. Like, I always say that I'm not proud to be gay, I just am gay. Like, it's just one of the things about me. Like, I'm not proud to be short, I just am short. Like, it's just one of those things. It's just not a definitive part of my personality, because it's not actually a personality trait. I think the only way to get over this hurdle, in my opinion, is to completely integrate absolutely everybody and stop segregating it off, because all you're doing then is you're putting people in these categories and you're making it more difficult for them to mix. All people should mix and intertwine, regardless of absolutely everything, in terms of whether they're gay or, you know, what their sexual preference is, because why the hell should that matter? I've got some friends that are gay, I've got some friends that are lesbian, I've got some friends that are straight, and does it matter? No. I've got some friends who have never ever spoken to me about their sexual orientation, and then one day when they're like, oh, this is my partner, I'm like, okay, so that means that they're gay. It's not a big thing. It doesn't matter. Nobody cares. I think the way that we'll know once this battle has actually been won is when people stop coming out. I mean, most gay people that you speak to will have a coming out story, which is where obviously they express and tell people about their story of when they decided to tell everybody that they were gay. And I just think that is so sad. I've had to come out, and it's a horrible thing to do, because you feel all this pressure and anxiety, and you're worried and you're scared about how people are going to treat you and react to you. And it's such a horrible thing. Like, straight people don't come out. They're not like, mum, dad, just letting you know I'm attracted to the opposite sex. People will be like, what the hell are you doing? So why on earth do gay people have to do that? Why can it not just be like, oh, this is my partner? Or, oh, like, I met someone I quite like today, or something like that? Why does it have to be this big thing? Because already you're building it up to make people feel different and to feel isolated and feel alone, and that is so sad. Children have so much pressure from every single area. The last thing they need pressure from is about their sexual orientation, because it should be irrelevant. Let them worry about school and education and, you know, finding themselves in terms of what sort of thing they want to do, or how to be kind and how to be loving and how to be a genuinely nice and helpful person, rather than worrying about what their mum's going to say when they get home because they decided, actually, do you know what, I'd rather sleep with women than men. I think there's plenty more issues that people should be worried about. Like I said, I think that it should still be taught in schools, because it is something through history that is important. I mean, us being able to marry is such an important thing, and it should be taught because it's a part of our history. And I think having a march is still a nice reminder, but I just think keep it a bit PC and have a bit of self-respect. I don't want people to look at what gay pride is now and put me in that category, because I wouldn't sit there on a field half naked, basically dry humping my partner, being really loud and obnoxious, because I think that's quite a vulgar way to show myself in a public place. So I just don't want to be put in that category. I just think in doing that, then we're also doing our bit to gain acceptance from those who have either been taught their whole life that being gay is a sin, or that, you know, we've got like older family members who tell us and teach us that it's wrong. If we show people that we're normal and that there's nothing scary about us and we're not the devil and we're not horrible people, then we're going to help change people's negative attitudes and make them positive. And surely that's a really important thing. So do that in a respectful way, because if you give somebody respect, even if they're being disrespectful, you've already won, because you're not stooping to their level and you're not showing that actually, you know, you're just as disgusting as they are. We just need to stop creating this huge stigma that there is against the LGBTQ plus community. And I feel like we need to stop being sold in shops like with a rainbow on absolutely everything just to show people that we're gay. Like, I think that's kind of pathetic, in all honesty. Stop using your sexuality to define you. Yeah, it is part of you, but it's not the most relevant part. You've got so much more to you than who you want to sleep with. And if that's the most definitive part of your personality, I actually think that's quite sad. And I think maybe you should get a hobby, or, you know, like learn to do something else. I don't know. I don't want to offend anybody or piss anybody off, but I'm sure that I have. But those are the main reasons why I don't believe in gay pride as what it is in this country, and I'm sure in many other countries. But yeah, again, I'm not proud to be gay, I just am gay. So let me know in the comments below if you agree with me or if you disagree with me, and why. I really appreciate you guys for watching. Please like, comment and subscribe, and hopefully I will see you guys next time. Take care.